All right, first hand of a 110, and I get aces. It's gonna do a lot of talking, but if we're gonna get aces the first hand, just gonna hop right into it, getting 3-bet by Chauncey Peppertooth. Normally would never 4-bet, but against this guy, I'm going to. It's gonna be pretty face up. He's probably gonna stuff. He may flat. And if he flats, I'll bet like 1/3. And he probably has kings here. Ace king, okay. Okay. I've been trying to do a live session for a long time now. Did a couple today. They didn't go that great. Probably put a couple of them out though. And then did a couple the other day where my mic was off. And then I did a couple where I think I was just too distracted because I was only recording one table, but I was like 9 tabling while playing. It was just tough. So okay, so this is a 110. That was just an insane cooler and amazing way to start the hand. Coach Vid's pretty good. T-Bart's pretty good. I think Don't Watch and K-Clap are overly tight. Scat is probably ICM aware. The only ICM aware people probably are I've been calling him Coach. COVID. Oh, COVID. That's what he, okay, I got his name now. T-Bart and Scat. I don't know KWAP. I don't know GTO Busto. I could actually shark scope them right now, which knowing your opponents, especially at 110, is probably worth it. GTO Busto is up money somehow, but only very recently. Looks like he's a tournament player and had like a 2 5K spikes to make him profitable. I'm not gonna mark him. Omaha 5. They have Omaha sit and goes now? Wait, what? Wait, what's going on? There's Omaha sit and goes? Oh, it's a... What the fuck? Okay, gonna defend with 2s. Sorry about that. Sorry, while it's like really slow and really early, I'm gonna be really tight and I'll be trying to talk about general strategy and my opponents. Let me just shark scope some people that I don't know yet. KWAP. So KWAP has an ability of 58, which probably means he's bad and not ICM aware. I don't need to shark scope anyone else, I already have notes on everyone. Really don't like 3-betting flops. I don't think we're like deep enough. Yeah, this is just never a bluff, and I'm surprised that he went for a raise. So looks like he may have flop 3-bet bluffs. I'm trying to note this guy, but it won't work. Okay, anyway, going to be very tight. Lucky for me, I have, could actually raise here. Let's see if he lets me raise. Sometimes I 4x, sometimes I 3x, sometimes I min raise. I don't like folding my small blind very often, unless I have someone who's going to really attack me. Early on, it's okay. I don't think the chips matter as much, but it's good to also, you know, get a rapport going, get a strategy going for when the blinds get bigger. Let's see here. What's nice is that my button, you know, KWAP's probably going to over-defend from the blinds. So he is ability 58. I kind of like that Shark Scope blocks everyone on global. I think it keeps the games like more rec friendly. Yeah, so this guy's kind of just tight passive, like a weak tight passive player. I don't think he's like particularly range aware. 6-7. If there were like weak players in the blinds, I'd consider limping. I'd consider opening, but no need to now. And and I don't want to be opening this hand early. This guy's taking forever. I wonder if these guys have their stats blocked or not. This guy's ability is 62. This guy's ability is 68. So ability is 68. Usually like the baddish regs are like in the 70s. The better regs are in the 80s, and the good players are in the 90s. Anything under 70 though is quite bad. Usually too passive. And I'm guessing I'm just not ICM aware for playing sit-and-goes. I think COVID's up like, I think he won like 50K in a tournament. And then Scat is up. Okay, was up 14K at one point, is on a huge downswing, and is up 7.5K. Looks like he got most of his profit from MTT banks though. So yeah, actually this is on the tougher side, just because T-Bart and Co are pretty good, but yeah, the sit and go scene on global is just quite soft, so. I guess I should comment on the hands more while we're waiting. Is it working? Sorry. So it's really, really, really valuable to note hands that go to showdown. Because Global's hand replay is garbage, you don't even get to see the losing hand calling, and you don't even really get to see what's going on anyway, because this whole thing is just terrible, and having to click on this thing is even worse and slower. So really curious if this person limped middle position. I think over limping button is okay. Completing small blind is, you know, okay a lot of the time, but you know, some people are limping like small pairs. He's probably limping wider than that though, so this does not seem bluffy. Yeah. I don't know what this guy would call with. So you'll see that I'm being like really tight. So, and also there's just a disparity. Like he limped middle position, and now he's in a 3x early position. This just feels really strong. Especially, how many big blinds does he have? Like under 20 bigs. He has like 17 bigs or something, sort of. This just feels like over pairs and ace jack, and maybe something like queen king of hearts. This feels really strong. This was nines. I actually don't like the call from ace 10. But okay. Okay then. He didn't have any hearts in his hand. I was kind of cheering for this guy. This guy's a much better player, but It sucks because the most aggressive player at my table is the button, but luckily being the big stack, he's probably not going to go after me as much. And I'm just going to not allow this guy to limp. Maybe I should 4x. But he's going to have some limp traps, but he's going to limp just a lot of trash too and a lot of medium hands. I can shove queen 10 sometimes, especially like when I'm chip leader, and I think if the field's soft, I'll take like the middle part of my range. Wow, this is really tempting to shove now. Can I even find a... So this is debatable. I actually like all three options. I like shoving as a steal. I like completing just because of the price. And I actually don't mind folding because for this person to limp small blind and then to limp button, this like game flow feels like way too trappy. That's kind of a big exploit and a big assumption that I'm making, so that could have just looked really terrible. But I kind of want this guy to stack this person to have aces somehow, but seems strong if he's gonna size up like that, but hard to tell. This is sometimes an open, because KWAP will 3-bet shove not wide enough, and then COVID's gonna, I think, be tight and kind of like respect chip leader, not want to clash with chip leader. You know, he's like in the 2nd to like 5th range. I don't think he's gonna get too out of line. The problem though is weak players will also just like be sticky from the blinds and not really know what's going on. They'll just kind of play their hand. Oh, my hand's medium strength. Okay, sure, call. When they're like icing and punting by calling and then check folding a lot. It's usually pretty bad. This is really interesting. 17 bigs, open under the gun. 17 bigs, flat, middle position. I'm not doing this with much of anything from either player's perspective. I'm more likely to open under the gun with 17 bigs, but a lot of my 17 bigs versus opens are just going to be 3-bet stuffing. This person's so passive that when they check back and then bet turn, it's like a lot of times just like a delayed bet with an ace or better. I'm going to open rip if it folds to me. I kind of don't want to open rip, but I think it's best. I'd love this person to actually get in there. I like playing like overly aggressive as the blinds get a little bit bigger, and then the middling stages, like just preserving my stack is so valuable. So like even though that was like an ICM plus EV shove, like it doesn't feel great. Like getting called like sucks. I'm in such a good position right now, but I think sixes are too strong, and you know sometimes we can be flipping. So I also don't really like the ace-10 call pre-flop versus the 3x earlier when 3x 9s opened. Small blind had ace-10 and then check shove to jack-10 to hard board. This is going to be really strong. A 3x. Maybe he's mixing in 3x's for folds or with balance. I just don't think it's balanced, or maybe it is. I don't know. This feels strong though, like an induce. Or not. So 17 big blinds 3x. I believe that was hijacked and folded to 12 shove. So the better regs are going, and especially like the ICM aware regs are going to, you know, start figuring out that they can shove wide, that they can open wide. And a lot of regs are really imbalanced with their sizings and like their tendencies, and they will, this is close for me. They will do stuff like, here, I think I want to just open rip this. This is the 2 sucks, but he's probably overfolding, but he's also the worst player at the table, so like losing to him sucks. Gonna shove again if it folds to me. But what I was saying is that these regs some will take the top of range and only shove. Some will take the top of range and only min raise. You know, some have a 3x range, some don't. And if you can pick up patterns on that, that's gonna be like a big edge in the long run. Especially as edges get smaller and like the player pool is tougher. Just kind of picking up on habits of your opponents. So blinds just went up. I could open here, but I don't like this player in the big blind. I think they're going to over defend, and I don't want to get jammed on from behind. I don't think I'm going to get jammed on that wide. I would probably open cutoff, probably, and for sure open button. So we have like 4 10 big blind stacks in a row. Scat's probably chilling. At least he should be. He's like pretty ICM cage, but he may be a little bit wider. And then K-Clap's just going to be really nitty. Yeah, I think I'd like to see an elimination here. 6 left now. 2nd place. He can really abuse now, now being in 1st, but he doesn't. A limp again would be pretty interesting. Kind of scares me. I've attacked his limp before. I think I'm going to check, because I think he's so passive that I can get away with some just steals. I'm going to go for a delayed bet here, though. 9's kind of bad. I'm going to do something. If he checks to me, I'm just going to size up, which is like debatably transparent, but I feel like if he had a decent hand, he should be betting to like deny equity. I just want to really look like a 3 or 7 here, and I want him to be like in a tough spot and just kind of be like, I'll fold my equity. Obviously calling any shove, reshoving over Scat's open. I would have reshoved if Scat called or shoved. Unfortunate. I actually think that's too loose of a shove. He was 10 bigs, and he was under the gun 1. I think that's a shove at like hijack and cutoff. But I don't really want him knowing that. He may watch this video though, but I don't know. I'm still in good position, especially blind versus blinds. I'm in like great spots. This person's playing really slowly, possibly on their phone. They're just not going to be shoving wide enough, I don't think. T-Bart probably should just fold here. Scat may allow him to limp though, so maybe limping is okay. This feels trappy to me, to not limp and lead on this kind of board as well. But maybe it was just a give up. So it's really important to be cognizant of like the blinds going up and like where you are in relation to the blinds. So this is really good for me because I'm going to hit the big blind before they go up. It may even be worth like stalling so that this person gets hit with an even bigger big blind. That's probably what I'm going to do. If this guy limps again, I'm going to shove. Should have enough equity even when called. So I'm not going to auto fold. I'm going to wait till this goes down a little bit. Okay, now I can fold. This just seems like queens or kings or aces. Or ace queen. Okay, down to 5. And it's basically a fight for third right now. I think I'm going to shove 6-8 for 7 bigs. This is okay too. This is me not having to put my stack at risk while short stack still getting attacked. And I'm probably going to be pretty tight because I think I have a skill edge over the guys in 4th and 5th. We'll be selectively shoving. T-Bart should put this guy in the cage enough of the time, like by calling, by making it 1800, by shoving. But I think T-Bart kind of also knows that this is a soft remaining field and is probably just like, whatever. Also, Scat can just be like really nutted there. Also, we want T-Bart and Scat to be doubling up these people, or sorry, to be eliminating them, or we want me to be eliminating them. Like, we don't want them doubling up each other. Wouldn't mind seeing a 3-well in here, though. Okay, so I have like a 2 big blind lead. This hand's going to be pretty pivotal. I'm actually going to fold if K-Clap shoves. And I'm actually going to mark this spot because this is close on if it's even an ICM call if he's shoving wide enough. This just looks really weak, actually. I'm going to fold still. This looks really weak. I just don't know how much he's going to min-raise fold. It could be so weak that he actually min-raises and then folds. But I think he takes a lot of his middling hands and limps them. So, not too sure. So I'm 1 blind position ahead, and I'm 10 chips ahead. These are both like very relevant. What's also nice is that I'm expecting Scat to be pretty aggressive here. Also expecting K-Clap to be pretty tight versus me. So this is going to be pretty tense. I'm going to be folding this as well. Getting walks here is amazing. 5 bigs effective. K-Clap should be shoving like 70%, but this is going to be a fold. I'd consider if it went like shove, shove. Sometimes with some hands I'd be getting in there. This is going to be a fold. So this is like good and bad. Him just calling leaves Scat the opportunity to come in, which is going to lower his equity to win the pot. But it's just going to be even worse if K-Clap wins and Scat calls. Okay, so he's drawing dead. We cashed. These are probably the strongest players remaining, us 3. Actually gonna fold 4-5. Sometimes I like off like a really shallow stack, defending and then stop and going. Good luck from T-Bart. Maybe we can get a ladder here. It's a pretty spicy river. Block bet from Scat. Gonna shove almost 6 big blinds with King 8. So yeah, pretty uneventful. This is a shove. I think you can argue folding if you think there's a propensity for ICM suiciding. Like, I think T-Bart's aggressive enough, and I think, more importantly, I think Scat's like, I almost said explosive, which to say with Scat is just funny. But, so here, I have too much equity. I'm going to stop and go on a decent amount of boards. I was about to say looking for non-ace high boards. I guess I look really strong here. Insta check back and min bet look really strong as well, though. Insta check back and min bet looks strong. But my flat looks I was just talking to T-Bar. All right, now when it's 300, do I want to leave some chips behind? No. Well, he has me dominated. Maybe I can get lucky on him. King. GG.